Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Howdy.
Hi, I wish I'd got the glasses memo because they really suit you.
They're so good.
Yeah,
I got scammed in Specsavers.
I got scammed. So is this a dilemma? Did you email it?
Yeah. No, she was showing me all these glasses. She gave me my prescription and I was like spiraling because I was like, I thought I had 20/20 vision. Like,
yeah. You're like contemplating life.
This doesn't represent me.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait, this could be fun. I could get some new glasses. New accessory.
Wait, let's turn this into a positive.
And then she was showing me all these glasses and she was like, oh yeah, these like making me try loads on and stuff. She was like, oh yeah, they really suit you. And then she was like, you actually get 2 for the price of 1. I was like, oh, let's do that then. And then she was like, but you need this film coating and blah, 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 blah. And then I ended up paying like way more than the price of 2 glasses anyway. Yeah.
Because the one pair that you chose was like a bougie pair.
I look into the shop every time I walk past.
Well, now you can see into it.
Yeah, but your reflection. I can see myself in the reflection.
So this was one. You had another pair?
Yeah, this was one and then I got another pair which I don't even like. So how annoying.
Are they a sunglasses pair?
No.
Oh, that's the scam I got. I was sucked into. I've got my prescription glasses. When you walk out and it takes 5 minutes to like adjust to the sunshine. Do you know like when they change? Do you remember those ones?
My nana's got them.
Oh, the polar. Is that what are they called?
Bifocal?
No, that's not.
That's
when you can.
Or
have
you got shutters
like further up and close.
Have you got shutters?
No, I want
that's good.
I love them.
There's a guy that I can't remember his name, but it was been on the BBC with me a couple of times. Is behavioral psychologist, really cool guy, and wears glasses. And he's got this brand of glasses from America, and you buy the glasses and they're clear, so the frame's clear.
Yeah.
And then you buy magnetic covers for them and change by the minute if you want to. So
that's so
they're quite
cool.
cost effective. Let's pretend like it's like 60 or 70 quid for the base glasses. They're not expensive. Like obviously you pay for your lenses and that can differ, but you buy the base that they're comfortable, they fit, but they're the same front.
Yeah.
So everyone has the same
That's
shape.
so clever.
And you just like tap them on. And I was like, oh my God, I love your glasses. I think they were polka dot. Like he had a bit about him.
That's cool.
He was cool. He went, I have more in my pocket. And he lifted these. He had this like, and they stack because they're all magnetic.
Yeah, yeah.
So he
cool.
had 6 others with him. And there was like a brown pair, tortoiseshell,
cool.
striped, blue, burgundy. And
That is so Barbie.
so you don't have
She's fuming.
but you don't have to keep buying new glasses. You buy the glasses once.
Lucy, you
and
can
you just
change your personality every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going making a
I
brew.
need to do that.
I'm going to the toilet.
That'll just be my excuse though to then get loads of pairs.
Yeah. She's like, I got 10,000 in a cut, and now
That's so interesting.
make
Yeah,
a
that's so true.
choice.
They pitch it as this cost-effective thing, but then you buy some new ones.
Yeah.
But I think they're only like
Yeah.
$20, $30 per like new front.
There is a lot of websites that like you can just get like 5 pairs
Yes.
for like £20.
Yeah.
As long as your prescription's like pretty basic,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
mine is, like you can just
change.
But
it.
no.
My dad's
You
done
went
that.
to
There's the reading
Specsavers.
glasses everywhere.
Yeah, my dad does that and he looks like Louis Spence.
And what is wrong with that? Looks great.
Slay.
Okay, controversial opinion time. Cash stuffing is so outdated.
Oh,
You might have to explain what cash stuffing is to
So I'm
most
picturing
humans.
we've got our binders out. It's in nice cursive writing, petrol, dining out, car maintenance, and we're taking the cash out of our bank and we're stuffing it in and we're paying out of them.
yeah. Bang on. So I never did cash stuffing, but Laura did. So,
like
and
throwing me under the bus.
well, I think it was a start of Laura's money journey, and I think it helped. You know, you can speak for yourself, but helped you organize in your head and get some sort of methodology as to how you could manage your money and compartmentalize different aspects of your budget.
Yeah, because this is pre-Financielle budget, so we
Yeah.
didn't have the budget planner.
You're also lucky.
I know.
Didn't have the app then.
I did the work. So yeah, I think once when I was trying to get a handle on my money and when I was trying to stick to the budget and when I was trying to use my excess to build up savings and overpay debt, you had to make sure you stick to a budget. And I wasn't great at keeping on top of writing it down. So this is where it came from, writing it down. And so I had these little like wallets. Later, I think I got cash envelopes, but I had these like A5 little like the little slidey thing
The
on the
Ziploc
top. Look like a
thing.
Ziploc.
Yeah.
Like a Ziploc bag. And I put stickers on them and it was like food. And I was like, this is, I don't know if I got it a little bit from Nana. She didn't do that. She used to withdraw cash and put it into savings for
compartmentalize
I
things.
feel like
and
my
stuff.
nanny does this.
Yeah.
Still.
And so I
In
was
her
like,
purse,
yeah.
I think she used to compartmentalise
Yeah,
it.
she did.
You know,
Yeah,
even
she
like
did.
Yeah.
this bit's for
She knew that
food.
was for food
Yeah.
and that was for like
Travel or
taxes and
whatever.
spends
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
And so I decided for like food, for petrol, and for like coffees and eating out. And really, they were my main expenses like years ago. That was the budget. And if it was you could physically see the envelope getting low. So if I'd gone a bit crazy with food shopping, I would be like, I'm going to have to work my way
Chill.
around the supermarket and
Yeah.
make sure that like I put that back and I do have more of this. And it's just that I did really benefit from that physical connection because at the time I didn't have the Starling and Monzos of the world with the pots. It was all sloshing around in one place.
Yeah.
So,
And it would made you be really mindful.
oh my
probably,
God,
of
I would
what
be
you
at
were
the till
spending.
and Holly would be like, what are you doing? I was
remember
like,
going out
wait a
for-
minute, I
going
need
out
to get
for
my
dinner.
envelope out. Oh yeah.
We were literally looking at her like, what is going on?
Because we'd all split the bill and I'd
Yeah.
go into my handbag and
Only
I'd get the
because-
envelope out and I'd find money and I'd be like, how much do you need?
Only because previously Laura would be like the bougie, like, let's get
Yeah.
a bottle of champagne. Like, I've got a Chanel
Yeah.
handbag for Christmas. Like, I bought Louis Vuittons and then literally like
Overnight.
Louis Vuittons.
Louis They were knockoffs.
Knockoffs, yeah.
Oh my God, imagine like Louis Vuitton LVs and then a red soul.
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
I'm sure it's been done.
But Laura was the bougie, like,
Yeah.
we'll go on holiday, we'll do this. And I was a little sister, like, yeah, I'll follow along.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she was like, no. Counting out cash.
At the table, how vulgar.
What is going It was just like all the family looking at each other in the eye like, well, what is going on? She's having a nervous breakdown because it was so different to Laura that we'd known before. But I think it was a really good reset for you to be like, no, I need to sort my money shit out. So drastic action has been taken. But people, Financielle's not too dissimilar, like creating
No, it's
sinking
that
funds
bar,
and
like
pots
seeing
and-
how far along that bar
Yeah.
is, like seeing how much you've got left. And
Yeah, we're just doing it in the digital age, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, whether it's using the app or whether it's using pots, it's the same principle. But interest. So would I do it now? No, I think not everyone takes cash. I have got a system, and I am good at sticking to the budget that I've got. Not always, like I'm only human. But actually, when you put it like that, Holland, the reason I did it back then was I didn't connect with money. Like it was so digital. It was like
You
tap,
had
tap,
to
tap, tap, tap. And it's got even
reconnect
worse.
with nature, the paper.
You have to feel it and like seeing like if my grocery budget then was £200, seeing £200 in an envelope looks like a lot of money. When you then spend 60 of it on your first shop on
You've
day
got
one of
3
your
weeks
budget,
left. Yeah.
you then see it, you physically see the amount of cash in that envelope go down. And when you've got a 20 quid, paltry 20 quid for your grocery budget, and it's going to last you 5-6 days, you don't want to be there again next month. And you suddenly are more inclined to go to the back of the cupboard and find the thing in your freezer
Yeah.
and
Project
go
pan.
to mum's for tea. And
Project pan your ass out of that
You've got
budget.
to.
Like,
but if you've set a budget and it's all sloshing around your bank account, it's just a number. You've not physically seen that. So actually, if I was brand new to Financielle today and I was an overspender, whether it's because of impulsivity and close spending or whether it's because I'm just not really good at counting it and I just like nice things, nice food, and I've suddenly bought steaks and I've suddenly run out of money, oh, better put it on the card. Cash envelopes is a really good way to get the discipline of it, I think.
yeah,
And touch
if
it and
you've
feel it.
never been that girl that's managed
Yeah.
money, it could just be a good. But we were laughing, I think we spoke about it together, looking at YouTube, and there's so many cash stuffing people on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
there's loads of TikToks, and it's like,
we were like, is it
ASMR?
Yeah. Where you're
What
like,
is it? Is it because people...
it's like playing shop.
Are people
Like,
nosy
watching someone play shop.
to know what people's budgets are? Like, because what is it about seeing someone put money in an envelope? Is it because you want to know what their budget is and
Well, if you
then
think-
comment on, well, that's too much for...
I watch people
Yeah,
cleaning the
maybe.
house
well, yeah,
on like
it's
TikTok and stuff. Is it similar?
Probably.
Like someone getting organised in
organised,
order.
yeah.
Like it's very satisfying. Like I'm going to put
we
£80
might need to
in
do
here.
one. Some people might not know this, so we might have to
Yeah.
show what cash stuffing can look like. And
Yeah.
I do remember I used to have a little piece of paper per envelope that was my little ledger.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
So
good
for
idea.
food, I would write down how much I'd spent and how much was left. I mean, I could have just recounted it. I don't know why I did that,
I
but
thought that's quite satisfying.
it's like tracking
Yeah, I
your
would love that.
expenses.
You don't want to be stood in a
Playing post
queue
office.
counting your cash though. You want to be like, how much have I
How much is
realistically
it? Yeah,
got?
and you just scribble it
Yeah.
out and put the
You
next
can
one
do
down.
that in the financial app by tracking your expenses. You can see how much you've got left and stuff.
Yeah,
you can do that. Go and do it. Like,
Yeah,
it's a really good
If you don't
exercise.
want to do the cash exercise, do the digital one.
And if you don't track expenses, but you have sinking funds or flexible pots or whatever it is, by using things like Monzo and Starling, you can, before you go out to the supermarket, I do that. How much have we got left in the groceries? We've got 2 weeks left to go. What we're talking? I still don't buy the same thing every week. My budget should just be the same. But my shopping list
Nothing
is
fun.
so predictable. So predictable. Yeah.
Okay, dilemma number 1. Is it better to overpay your mortgage or save for a bigger deposit? Hello, I have a question. Is it better to overpay on a shared ownership mortgage or save for a larger deposit when we plan to sell in the future? I'm currently not working due to ill health, and whilst my partner works, his income wouldn't be enough to secure a mortgage on his own. Any help would be greatly appreciated.
So we get this question a lot, but the shared ownership situation is particularly interesting. I mean, they might have it in other countries as well, but in the UK, there were lots of attempts to bring about like schemes that could help people get on the property ladder. And the Brits love a good getting on the property ladder, and actually, it really did help to make a lot of them accessible. The way they would typically work is you would share the ownership of the property, typically a new build. I'm pretty sure they were nearly all new builds, with the local council or like a housing trust or fund. And so say you bought 75% of the property, they would buy or own 25%, and you would effectively pay rent on 25% and you would pay down your mortgage on the 75%. And then what everyone hopes is that the property goes up in value, obviously, but you both benefit from that. Like you, it's not just you only own 75% of it, but you get to a point where affordability is better, or you sell and buy something new, and then when you remortgage, if you want to remortgage, or when you sell, the housing association gets their 25% and you get your 75%, and you kind of carry on into the future. I don't think it's been as easy for everyone as that. I think that there's been definitely scenarios where house prices may not have grown as much as people would have liked, which would have helped, but also cost of living makes things more difficult. Interest rates have gone up. And so the idea of just moving up in house and buying the next house isn't as easy. And so I think I've seen this quite a lot. Like, people feel a bit stuck. Our listener, she says she's not working. She's not very well.
Yep.
There's 2 ways of answering this one. Obviously, it all depends on your personal circumstances. I'm so sorry that she's not well. And when you're at that point, if there's any extra money in your life, you pile it up.
I was about to say, don't give it to anyone.
Don't worry about
yourself.
overpaying things. Like, the overpaying the mortgage thing is a kind of nice to have, but you've got to look after your own 4 walls, and you need to make sure you can always pay your mortgage that you already have. And so if you are not working, if you're not in great health, or like if you're taking time off work, or if you're in between jobs, lots of different reasons, I am a fan of keeping that what we call liquid, so having access to it. If you were working and this wasn't an issue, then it's a really interesting question. It all depends on what you're doing next. Like, if you are going to be moving up in home or selling that home and moving to a different home, then you have 2 choices. If you overpay and you overpay your mortgage, whenever I've seen formal guidance on stuff like this, it's not to buy back bit from the housing association.
25%. No.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes fees involved. It would depend on a case-by-case basis, but you can always overpay your portion of mortgage. And if you're going to be selling the home to buy a new one, it's as broad as long. Like, it means you're going to get more on the sale, but likewise, having it in a separate account ready for the next house deposit, you've got access to it there. If you overpay, the upside to that is, you obviously it could impact obviously the amount you pay on your mortgage, but you get it back when you sell, so you get more money back than you would have done because there's less mortgage to pay. But the downside to that is you don't have access to it. The flip side, if you put money into a savings account, you can be tempted to go after that money. I've seen people do that. Shall I overpay the mortgage, or shall I build a house deposit for the next one? It's like, well, how likely is that next purchase? If it's super likely, then overpaying the mortgage means you benefit from it and you're not tempted to touch it. If it's not quite set, you know, and you might need access to those funds, putting them in a side account can be
Especially when
better.
you're not working, you just don't know how long you're going to be out of work for. If an emergency pops up, she might have an emergency fund in place, but like you said, keeping it liquid probably while you're not earning an income is probably the ideal. in this
Yeah, and
instance.
ultimately, it's all about the next steps that are going to happen, and caveating that with how well you are, and but how likely is that move? Like, are you going to be able to move, or are you not going to be able to move? Are you going to be able to afford another mortgage if you're not earning? There's loads of ifs and buts. So it's a great question to be like forward thinking and looking at it. It's a sensible question, but making sure that you've got enough emergency. I feel like that's what I would do. So I answer these about what would I would do. I'd always be tempted to. I like the idea of overpaying a mortgage, but I like the idea of a big fat emergency fund better. But making that work for you as well, making sure you're getting the right returns on it.
The ideal would be that you don't have to dip into the emergency fund, and then when you are generating income, you could then take if you're over exceeding on that emergency fund, if it's super juicy, you've gone OTT to make
You
sure
can drop some on the mortgage later.
You can use a proportion of it and put it into the mortgage, but at least you've not made that decision up front and it's gone, and then you need them. You're not
Suddenly you can't pay your bills.
Away.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah.
Hope she feels better
Very
soon.
exciting. Okay, community win. All Pay in 3 and PayPal credit have been paid off.
Woohoo!
Now to tackle the big ones from next month, the credit cards.
I love the baby ones first, right?
Yeah.
Buy now, pay later, we're coming for you.
Yeah,
You're
like
not-
an easy one to get rid of.
It's
Probably
like your
more so.
practice. Do you think it's like your practice
Yeah.
lap? Like,
Yeah.
okay, because it's manageable. Hopefully, it's not always.
Yeah.
But it's manageable, and
And it's also that habit of like not then using it.
Yeah.
Because that's like the
Checkout.
easiest one to use probably.
cancelling
Yeah.
Klarna, breaking up with your buy now, pay later providers,
It's
the PayPals.
so easy to use buy now, pay later. Like the amount of people that come to us and they're like, you've positioned it in a way that I just never thought. I thought they were helping me, and I thought it was just an easy way for me to be able to afford things that I want, but you can't afford them, because if you could, you'd have paid for it in cash. And it's just that like light bulb moment. And it's at every checkout we talk about. You can
So
Klarna a
easy.
pizza.
You can Klarna a pizza.
That's insane.
You can Klarna a pizza and pay for it 3 months after. Can you imagine? Paying for a pizza 3 months after.
Lucy's having pizza for tea. That's
Yeah,
what it's like.
Oh,
£4 from Aldi.
Oh,
Not from Klarna.
Paid
Paid
in
for it.
cash. What a flex.
If you'd like to tell us your win, head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financielle.com. Okay. I like this next one. Am I allowed to take a break on my debt payoff journey? Hi girls. Let me start by saying I love Financielle and listen to The Vault and The Vault Unlocked every release day. I have a dilemma for you. I started my debt payoff journey in September and have since paid off 2 credit cards and my phone contract. I have 1 credit card left and my car finance. I have put every bit of spare money or overtime towards this, and I'm really proud of myself. My dilemma is this. I'm bored.
She's honest.
I love
as
the
well.
honesty. Yeah.
I've been extremely frugal and lived on very little to do this. For context, I'm a full-time student and also work part-time contractually, but work the equivalent of full-time hours nearly every week. I'm getting burnt out and really want to break from the debt. On average, I've been putting around £800 a month towards various debts and extra into savings to build up emergency funds and sinking funds for later in the year. Am I allowed to take a break for a month? There are so many things that I've allowed myself to go without over the last few months, and I'm really starting to feel negatively towards the debt. I want it paid off as soon as possible, but I don't want to go without fun things for the next 2 years. Am I allowed just for the month to make smaller repayments and give myself an extra few £100s to reward myself for the journey so far and to remind myself of what lifestyle I'm working towards? Or would it send me back into bad spending habits?
Never had one like this before. And I love the honesty.
I'm bored.
I'm bored.
My children say
get
that
it.
all the time. I'm like, oh,
Boring.
God.
Boring.
This girl's bored.
Stop being so Nigel like.
Yeah, she's allowed to be bored. She's worked hard. It's I don't know what you're going to say to it. What are
Well,
you going to say to it? Go
I
on.
just picked up on the comment that was like, I want to be reminded of the lifestyle that I'm working towards. And I'm like,
That's the whole convince yourself of.
are you going to go back to how you were before? What
yeah.
What do you mean by that?
But imagine that, honestly. Like, I loved buying clothes, eating out, going on holiday. So
Yeah.
what I want to do is I want to be able to do that. And quite frankly, there's a swing to it that, like, you can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you can be like, do you know, like, I really enjoyed all that spending. I just didn't have the money for it. It's kind of honesty I'm here for.
Because some people actually, weirdly, can afford the spending on clothes, eating out. Like we always say, like we manage.
We want you
It's
to get
just
there.
the
This
way.
isn't frugal
No,
fairies.
you are not living. We are not fire. Gladiators.
We're not fire.
We're not
We're
telling
not
you to
frugal
go
fairies.
without for the rest of your life. Like you'll see people in our community that have done survive, build, they're in grow, they're living the best life.
Yeah.
They're able to buy a capsule wardrobe when they want to. They're able to go on holiday. They're able to eat out. They factor it into the budget. And at the
they hope
moment,
that they earn more as well. So the idea is not that you then use the idea is spending what you can afford whilst having like a balance for investing for the future, saving for the future, making sure you grow your net worth with assets that go up in value. But still,
whilst
if you
living
like
your
doing
life.
these things, you do these things. It's when firstly you couldn't afford to do them. Like that's like me going, like, I want to be able to travel first class.
Yeah.
Can't afford it. Yeah, but I want to.
Yeah. I'm allowed to say
I want
it.
to do my big shop at Waitrose. We can't afford it.
I love it when people
But
do.
I want to.
I'm going to do you always my community tell me that Waitrose is exactly, I can get as much for my money, and then they do it and then they're like, it was a lie. Like it's
Oh my
really
God,
expensive.
no. We did it the other day and it was ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. So
It's like,
would you do it again?
yeah.
But you like
Such a
spending
nice
money on
experience.
food.
Yeah, that's what I spend my money
That's
on.
your
literally.
jam. You don't go out drinking at the
No.
weekend, so you can go.
That's how I justify buying like £20 bottles of olive oil because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't spend this on wine.
Yeah, but people might spend money on wine and then do that as
Yeah.
well. And you're like,
Yeah, true.
you can't have, if you can do it if you want to. Like,
Mhm.
if you don't want to be debt free, carry on. It's fine. I do empathise when you're in the trenches of paying down debt.
Oh my
It can
God,
get
yeah.
exhausting.
Food's boring.
It's like a cheat day, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
it's that equivalent.
And maybe
Yeah.
you need, like, I definitely like on a debt-free journey, mini milestones. So like when you've hit a milestone, equate it to, we're going to have a nice dinner out.
Yeah.
And listen, so some of this behavior before, it might have been the quantity of what you were doing. So there's this mindless spending, which I didn't even value. I don't remember it. That was a pain.
Don't want to spend it on.
That's upsetting, right?
Yeah.
And there's other debt that people get into debt for, like helping family out or different situations. There's then I just way overspent. And if I'd have just done a tenth of what I would have got the same dopamine and the
Yeah.
same vibes and same enjoyment, but or even a quarter of it, or even half of it.
Yeah.
And so this could be where we're at, which is she could factor in these like treat moments as mini rewards, or like, I've said this about like money date nights. Spending money on a money date night, whether that's like paying for a takeaway or paying for a nice meal, can actually tempt you,
keep you going.
and like think about what life could be like. Like I do like that idea about this is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be working towards something that's different, but not in the way that it goes back.
Yeah,
So-
you just don't want to get into old habits and be the way
Yeah,
you were
start
before,
flexing
'cause
that
that's why
muscle
you're
again.
here.
Like that's
We don't want you to
Yeah.
go back there. But there is a balance. I love the fact that she's got in ahead with sinking funds. Love the fact, like, tick, tick, tick. Like, you are doing an amazing job. We're laughing and we're joking. Like, genuinely, it's really difficult to go on a debt-free journey and come out the other side and stick to it. You're doing an amazing job. And I get that it's tiring, and I get that you're bored. Like Laura said, I think an agreed, if you're doing it as a couple or you're doing it on your own, a milestone where you go, we're going to go out. We're
Yeah,
gonna
you need to put it in your
celebrate,
calendar,
but
like-
not time off. So what I want her to
No.
do is put what she wants to do in the budget, and what
Yeah.
it'll do is it might slow down a debt overpayment.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't like the idea. Like, imagine if she's been making like progress at like 500 overpayment. Imagine if she goes, we're not doing it this month.
Yeah, just because
So
we want to
then,
spend it
so
on.
then, so then you've got 500. So then what I would like is, what's the thing that you want to do? Put that in the budget. And if that's cost 250 quid,
Yeah.
if it's like we'd like a night overnight, or I want to do a really bougie meal, or I would like a new outfit, whatever your thing was that you seem to be missing, put it into the budget.
Bet you don't spend it.
I bet you don't spend
Yeah.
it. I was going to say that.
You won't spend it. You won't spend
Because
it.
you'll look over at the debt and you'll go,
That's more annoying than not going out for a meal this month.
Yeah.
Because I'm X amount of months away from being debt free. And
Yeah.
once I'm there, that excess that was going to my debt every month, I can go on 3 meals in the first month because I will have planned for it.
and like another way of looking at it is, you get excited about, like, let's say it's a meal, and let's say it's a 150 quid meal, good meal. I don't know where I'm going. I can't.
Where are
Have
we
you
going?
got lots of
Where are we
kids?
going?
Have you got lots of kids? Because it might come up to that. But you're like excited for it.
Five Guys.
And you
it was really
go-
expensive when I went with my kids.
Oh my God, it's so expensive. But imagine you're excited for it and you're like, finally, I'm being able to do the thing that I've missed and that I'm longing for. And you get there and you go,
It was cold.
it's only okay.
Service wasn't that great.
Like, is it rose tinted glasses
Yeah.
where you're like,
Yeah,
I miss
definitely.
my
Everyone's
life?
having a great time in Nando's without me. Lucy, she is
Love
having a
Nando's.
great time in Nando's without me.
Nando's.
But getting there and living it. Is it as good as paying the? Is it as good as dopamine
Have
hit?
you
as
built
paying
it
it?
up
you're
to
then
be
gonna
the
have
thing
to
that
wait.
you're missing and you get there and you go, we're enjoying it, really liking it. Ish, I don't know. Oh,
I always think
so
this
tough.
sometimes, and I'm like, should I just give myself a month? And I'm like, I'm not going to pay into my savings. I'm not going to invest
Yeah,
anything.
just a
I'm not
month
going to
off.
like pay into any sinking funds. I'm just
Like
going to
the
like
opposite
YOLO.
of a no spend challenge.
Yeah.
You need a spend challenge.
everything.
I bet you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
You
like
would
that.
hate it. You'd give money back.
I
You'd
need
take
the
stuff
control.
back.
I was about to say, if you, it's a feeling of being out of control.
I'd just
and
be
that's
like,
what-
are
yeah.
we going to have enough left? I don't like the thought of that.
no.
Experiment.
So there's two things here for me. One of them is this like concept of milestones. So think about the things that are important to you. You don't have to do all of them. Like pick a couple of things and put them in every month's budget. You know, like it. Well, this isn't two things and it's actually the same thing. So sorry, but there's two different concepts. One of them is making sure that you factor in this into your budget and giving yourself permission to slow. I don't like the idea that you would stop. Every
yeah.
single month you need an excess and you need to put it towards the things that you're working towards. I don't like the idea that you would stop,
Forgo it for a month.
but
yeah.
slowing it is fine. Like, that's fine, especially after you've been so intense. Because I think it'll give you a little, she needs a zhuzh.
Yeah.
So we all need to
Have we
pick.
done that before? We're like, how do you spell zhuzh?
Oh, yeah.
Just it's bougie as well. We all need a little pick me up. I remember a dilemma that was written in a few months ago, and it was a mum that was in debt and she wanted to pay for her son to go on the school trip.
Yes.
And everyone thought that we were going to be like, nope, you have to carry on with your debt-free journey.
yeah.
And we were like, you've got permission
Yeah.
because you are living out the principles you kind of evidenced over all the work that you've done over the past few months. You are still committed to this journey. You have created good habits. You have put all these things in place, and by God, your son deserves to go on this trip. And the guilt that she was carrying about him potentially not going on it, and
Yeah.
it was like a gift to herself to get the child to go on the trip. And everyone thought we were going to be like, no, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
And we gave
Yeah.
grace and permission, and I feel like they were exceptional circumstances. I
Yeah.
don't know. You're not selling these exceptional
Yeah. Do you just want to go and buy some clothes?
I know. I wish I knew more about what she wants to do.
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
it?
I wanna know
But
what you
is
want.
this like, this is a long journey
Yeah.
and this is a change in the way you live and the change in the and this change happens slowly. You know, quite frankly, sometimes you don't want to go too quick because that's like the yo-yo diet concept.
Yeah.
It's like
It
the
is a healthy
really
eating
intense and really
thing.
down and
Yeah.
like what's maintainable. What I do like is some intense months. So I think when you first start this, it's like
All
go
in.
ham, like
Yeah.
all in and like be really aggressive because you'll lose momentum like that. We always say strategy over willpower because willpower will go. So when you've got that adrenaline and when you're excited and when you're obsessive and when you're trying to sell everything on Facebook Marketplace and when you're trying to like say, we're not going to meet this week. Like,
Yeah, you try all the random
just
shit.
play
to
with
like,
it and just go because
Yeah.
I promise you that will go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when that goes, you need strategy, which is your budget, your systems, your processes. And part of strategy is having things in the budget that you want to do because those are the things that make sure you stay on track. And that's why no spend months really, really good at resets.
Yeah.
But you don't do a no spend life because that's the thing
Yeah.
that's going to send you off track. So I definitely feel like the permission to slow down, permission to indulge a little bit, but making sure that and it depends on what your weakness was, but making
not
sure
gonna
it's
derail
intentional.
you.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. Obviously, like it's been a long time since we paid off our debt, but there would have been.
I like holidays we would never have compromised on. Do you like some things people but I'm not going on holiday. I'm not that person. I'm going on
No, you're not.
holiday. So we would have found if there's a will, there's a way. Like
And
how
so what
can we get
happens
around
is
it? You have
your
to
debt
cut back on
payoff
other
rate
things.
slows.
Yes.
Yeah.
and other things slow, but so that you can cash flow the holidays that you want.
Or you have to give up other stuff like something.
like I go without clothes.
Yeah.
I mean,
do
I
go-
would wear clothes.
I go without clothes. All right.
I like.
Same because I don't know what to wear.
I don't know what to wear
Yeah.
anyway.
Only
but
because it's too stressful.
I like will just where and where and where and where, because I'd rather invest.
Yeah.
And I'd rather go on hold. Like, you've got your things.
Like your non-negotiables we always talk about.
Yeah.
Yours would be food. Like you're
Yeah.
not gonna go bare bones, basic B on food because
No.
that brings you immense joy and gets you through the week. Like it's
But-
your thing.
Yeah.
The first, Lucy's also, we always say this, she's very lucky that she came straight to Financielle. So she has not been on this like debt merry-go-round that lots of us have had to undo really, really poor
Yeah.
choices and bad behavior and bad habits. The first 1 to 2 to 3 months that you get so obsessive, you would have cut back on some food,
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
would have worked out, like, it's like worth the graft. You're like, I will make this shopping
planning.
basket worth it, and
Yeah.
I'm going to meal prep, and I'm going to
Yeah.
make sure I've used everything in my freezer, and it becomes a game.
Yeah.
But that is not sustainable.
I also think she said that she's a full-time student, and I don't know how long you got left, but if there's a time to just be frugal and get your debt cleared, like
It's when you're a
surely
student. Yeah.
you're a full-time student and you're basically working full-time. Like,
This is the
just
time
do
that it's
it.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oof.
Ooh.
Need to know what
To
you want to
cheat
spend your money
day,
on
to
though.
not cheat day. I think I like the idea of having a nice little thing in your notes, being like, okay,
Oh, yes. Okay. yeah.
like month 1, I'm allowed like to take myself on a little coffee date
Yeah.
and like do something that you like doing, and then like
Month
it
2.
slowly gets just the little rewards. I like that.
Yeah,
love
and I don't
scheduling.
hear about that enough. I would love people to share that with us. I always remember a friend of mine and her husband, when they paid off their mortgage. They worked really, really hard to pay off. It was a mortgage is big for anyone, but it was relatively modest. And they worked really hard to pay it off. And they went for a meal and night at Gotham.
Oh, just to
That's
like
nice.
Manchester.
celebrate.
They celebrated it.
That's something to celebrate.
I mean,
Yeah,
that is
oh my
absolutely
God.
to celebrate. That's
Like-
why I wish there were smaller examples of that. But that was
yes,
this
those mini
like,
milestones.
you know, sometimes we can be focused over here on the pennies, and these little breaks and these little celebrations. Like I said, I'm really passionate about the money date, and sometimes putting the money date in the budget and having that steak dinner and paying for the babysitter and being all in, because you never know, like a decision you make that night could make you millionaires.
Yeah.
It could, because
The commitment
all
that you
it takes is that focus and attention, and you invested a little to do that. And it's the same with her, like if investing in a little bit of a splurge. I don't like the idea of relapse.
telling you now, she's going to buy a top, she's going to take it back.
Yeah, what is what is gonna
She's gonna
whatever
take
you're
it
gonna
back.
buy. If you eat, I feel like going for a meal. Like I love going for a meal, but once you've had the meal, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, and you go home, life's still the same.
Yeah. And you buy the top and it sits in the wardrobe and you don't wear it and you feel guilty for buying it. It's going back. I feel
I
like
had a Wagamama's yesterday,
Yeah,
and
didn't
it
live
was,
up to the hype.
it was cold, and I had to send it back.
Oh no.
It was like lukewarm.
It should never be cold, by the way, because they're literally walking it behind your head.
I know,
yeah.
I know, and it wasn't even that busy either. So
No excuse.
So then my, because I had gyoza as well, my gyoza came and it burnt my mouth off. It was so hot. But it was they were deep fried.
Make your mind up,
Yeah.
guys. What are we?
But I took one bite and I went,
No.
so I said to her, I was like, I'm really sorry. Can I have this hot? I was like, I don't mind if they put this back in the pan. Like, I'm not fussy. I don't need to want a brand new one, but it's not hot enough. And it came back and it was obviously hot
They were
again.
like, we'll show her.
I know, can you imagine?
Flame torch.
It still wasn't that hot. I like piping hot
Yeah,
food
yeah.
though. I'm
Yeah,
the person
me too.
that at
if there's
home
like
will-
chicken in it or seafood,
Oh my
it's
God,
got
yeah.
to
it
be
needs to
piping
anyway.
hot.
And I'd been looking forward, because we don't eat out loads with the kids and stuff. So I was really looking forward to this Wagamama's, because it was me
With
without-
no kids.
With no kids. I was meeting a friend. And I built, and I was like, oh,
Not worth it.
just,
yeah.
and because they'd warmed up mine, it wasn't as good. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't as good. And so
wouldn't have been
I
happy
imagine,
about that.
I'd looked forward to it, and it was like,
Let down.
Yeah.
So imagine this
you've built
woman
up.
building something up.
Yeah.
So I think we're trying to tell you, like, don't build it up because you might feel a bit let down.
Yeah.
And you can't take a meal back unless it was really shit, but you can take a top
Yeah.
back if it was
Yeah,
really shit.
true.
Oh, but do you know what? Like, the milestones are really important. I think that when you make a decision to become debt-free, you're weird. And you're going on a journey that not a lot of other people
Yeah.
can empathize with, can understand, but you know, stick with the community, like message and empathize
Surround
with
yourselves
them.
with like-minded people.
Yes.
Surround yourself. They will get you through.
I think you should ask, because if this was emailed in, she should
Yeah.
put this in the community as well. Would love to hear what other people did. Do you remember the holiday one?
Yeah, and I talked her out of it.
Everyone else was
She wanted
like,
to go to Mexico.
Go to Mexico, definitely.
Yeah.
And you were like,
I'm thinking
no.
Mexico, but it'll put me back. Blah, blah, blah. And I was just
$5,000.
like, nope. I was like, no, just no. And she was like, oh, I actually probably needed someone to say that. And so when I
Yeah.
put my reasoning down, I think it was like, oh, this is really bad. I don't want to like offend Mexico, but
You went
she
to
wanted
even
to
Mexico.
go to like an all-inclusive Mexico, like Riviera Maya, like Cancun
could
way.
go
And I was
there
like,
anywhere.
can I just be really honest
There's a
with
big
you?
wide world out there.
Yeah, like a resort all-inclusive in Mexico where you don't leave and experience the culture and the
It's
food
not gonna
and the
change your life,
people
is
and
it?
the traditions. You can literally do that in Europe for half the price. If
An
that's
hour
what you're
flight.
looking for. Literally. I was like, don't pin your hopes on Mexico being like, especially the types of holiday she was doing in Mexico. This isn't about Mexico. It was the type of holiday. She wasn't going to leave the resort style holiday 5-star.
Okay, it's like when people are like, I'm going to go for a life-changing holiday to the Don Rep. You're not. You're going to... Sorry, I know it's so ridiculous. I have to be careful. What
Don't now regret going. Oh my god. I hope no one's watching this.
Those
But lots of
types of
people will be
holidays.
watching this
Yeah.
that go
It's an
there. And this is
example.
not this is not to hash on them.
No, it's an example.
This
like,
is not a
yeah.
life-changing thing.
It
This
was
is
stopping
it
her
could
from
have been
paying
anywhere.
a debt.
It
Yeah.
wasn't special.
It
Yeah.
was like $6,000 or something. And I was like, no. I was like, go to
Everyone else in the thread
was like, oh, live, laugh, love. And I was like, guys, we're in the financial community. Like, I think you forgot yourself.
Read the room.
Yeah,
We're
We're
not
on
excited.
Facebook here.
Yeah, I think you forgot where you were. Like, let's have a minute. And I was like, I just gave an example. I was like, a $2,000 holiday in Spain. Put $4,000 towards your debt. You're still gonna have a really nice
Yeah.
holiday.
Yeah, and this is like about remember yourselves. But also, this is like not a do not dare enjoy yourself.
No.
Get to the end of the debt, you will
No.
or you will die. It's like no.
No.
But be like we couldn't convince ourselves of anything, and sometimes you do need that person to be like, be careful. Because
Yeah.
if you convince yourself that that's that, then the next one is. And then I should probably do this, and then we need this doing in the house, and then
Yeah.
and suddenly you've like
Lifestyle
gone back,
creep
you've gone backwards.
comes back.
So
Yeah.
no, like stay focused. This is a long answer to this question, but I feel like we've had a good debate around it, and
Yes.
hopefully those of you listening at home can get some colour to why something so simple as being like, "Can I take a month off?" Is like,
You
yes,
can.
but
There may be consequences.
But
Dare
Holly
ya.
will be in your dreams.
I dare you to. Oh God.
Any final words? Nope.
Oh, I was not this one.
Offend anyone else?
Just don't want to offend Mexico, Dominican Republic. Like, they're all beautiful places to go on holiday.
But not to all inclusive. That's all for this episode. The vault is now closed. Just a quick disclaimer, the vault is just a chat around life and money topics. We are not giving financial advice.